Hi, my name is Lori Anderson and I'm the owner and designer of Southern Stitches Boutique and Brer Rabbit Designs. And we are working on smocking a bishop. This is lesson 3. And before we get started, I thought that I would give you a little tour of my sewing room. Since it's all cleaned up, it's kind of a rarity that it's this clean, so I thought you might enjoy looking at it. So I'm just going to take my computer here with me and I'm going to give you a little tour of my room. This is, and I don't know how well you can see this, but here's where I sit. This is, and get all my sewing done. And there's my serger. And I'm just going to take you for a little walk through my room. I have a Bernina 180. I have my grandmother's antique Singer sewing machine, featherweight. And then here are some of my designs that you have seen. Some of them have been featured in Sew Beautiful magazine. My grandson calls all my dress forms, those are my kids. He comes in and talks about the kids when he comes in here. I've got some items up there on the door. And then scrolling around here, the pie safe is full of fabric and notions. And then I have a bookcase. That's my little library of books and magazines. And then that's out in the hallway, and I'm going to bring you back around here. Hopefully I'm not making you dizzy. When you walk in the door, I have a antique treadle Singer sewing machine, and all my little bonnets are setting up there. So I'm going to bring you in around. Here's a look into the room. And I'm going to come around back here so that you can look back in towards this corner. There's the cherry dress, and the gown that's the big gown there, that is the trendy hospital gown that I've been working on, that you've probably seen on my blog. This is my drafting table, and I draw my designs and come up with my little ideas here and work with my pencil and paper, and then I scan things into my computer and continue working on my computer with my designs. And here is my cutting table, which is full of stuff right now for the lesson, but normally, a few minutes ago, it was all cleared off. This table here is actually, you can see that I have a train border up here, and that's because this table is actually a train table. Underneath this top is a whole little town with train tracks and buildings. That was my son's when he was a little boy, and I had my husband build this top and cover that up so that I could use this as my cutting table. You can see I've got fabrics up here, and there's my pleater, and I've got old sewing drawers that hold buttons and ribbon and other items that I need. And so there is my awesome cutting table, and I even have a light box over there that I use. So that is the tour of my sewing room. I'll give you a little look back here. That's looking back into my room. So that's your little panoramic view for today. And now we're going to get started on lesson 3. And at the end of the last lesson, we had blocked our bishop onto the blocking board, and we starched it, we steamed it, and we let it dry. And now you can unpin it and you can take it off, and it's going to hold that, it's nice and crisp, so it's staying in that shape. And I'm going to show you here on my white one. It's all set. And the next step is you're going to pull out, you have all these long threads, and I've already done it to this white one to save some time, but you have all your long threads that you tied off into groups of 2 or 3. And what you're going to do now is you're going to go ahead and you're going to snip this off with your scissors, and you're going to pull your pleats, pull the thread out of the pleats back about 1 inch. And the reason you're going to do that is because when you smock, you're not going to smock right to the selvage end of your dress. You are going to you're going to smock up to about 1 inch away from there. You've got to have room to be able to fold back and make your placket. So that's why you need to go ahead and pull those out. And I like to pull mine. I'm going to show you on the white one because it's a little easier to see with this black thread. I have pulled mine out, and I'm going to bring this up close so that you can see. About 1 inch from that edge I came in, and then I tied my knots in groups of 2 or 3 and knotted them off right tied up to where that first pleat is. That's what you're going to want to do. Do that also. Have your holding row in there. The holding row, it doesn't matter. You can tie it in with it or you can leave that on the edge. But you want to go ahead and get this done on both sides. You'll do it on both sides. And it'll be, as you can see, about 1 inch from that edge. Okay, after you have done that, you want to be able to get ready to smock, and you need to center your smocking. And the way that you center your smocking is that you've got to count all these pleats, and there's a lot. There's well over 200, probably close to 250 or more. You know, some people say, well, you've got your fold here in the front. Can't you just follow your fold up and have that be your center? And you can, you know. I like to be sure that it's in the center because when you smock a bishop, you're going to start in the center, you're going to work around to the end, you're going to invert, you're going to work to this other side. You want to make sure that the smocking design that you do ends up so that once you put your placket in and you button the back of this dress up, that your design is going to continue, and it's not going to be where, say, you've ended up on row 3 with a wave that you're doing. You're up on row 3 here, but it goes down to a heart, and maybe it's down on row 5 on the other side, and it's not going to meet up, and it's not going to look like it all flows together and continues in the back. So the way to make sure that it does is to start in the center and work to the ends. And so that's your next deal, is to count all these pleats, find your center, and then take your water-soluble pen and mark that center. And now sometimes your number is going to come off and it's going to be an odd number. You may come up with, by the time you do your math, where you come up with a half. And just go to the next pleat. It doesn't matter. One pleat's not gonna be a big deal. So find your center, and then you're ready to begin. Now let's talk about needles, because that's an important. You can't just use any needle to smock. I bought this neat little packet of needles at the Birmingham Market the other day from Wendy Shane's booth, and I love it. I'm just going to tell you, I love it, and it's worth you looking. I'm sure she sells these on her website. Martha Pullen, I'm pretty sure, sells a needle book of some sort like this. And inside here there is a whole bunch of little packets of needles. And what I like about it is she has a neat little needle guide in here that tells about all the different size needles, what they're used for. And even on each little packet individually, they're really cute. I mean, they're just cute to even look at. On the back of that package, it tells what it's for. Now, this one is for, this is a number 10 crewel, and it's used for shadow work embroidery and hand embroidery like that. Okay, so what we want is, we can use, okay, you get your choice here. You can use a number 7 darner right there, or you can use a number 9 crewel. The number 9, and I'm going to show you these, the number 9 is a little bit shorter of a needle than this number 7. So it's all in what you're most comfortable with. But you can see the difference of how short this one is and this one's longer. I tend to like the longer one myself. It just feels better in my hand. And so that is what I'm going to choose to use here, is a number 7 darner. Like that. Okay. Now, let's talk about thread. You have your choice here too. There is floche, and this is a very silky type embroidery floss. I kind of like to use this best for shadow work because you can use just, one strand of it. It's just so pretty and it's so silky. Embroidery floss, your typical just DMC embroidery. For this, you're going to use 3 strands for geometric smocking. You're going to use 4 strands for picture smocking. We're not going to do any picture smocking on these bishops, so 3 strands of embroidery floss is what you're going to need. You'll pull off a piece that's about 18 to 24 inches. My favorite thing to smock with is DMC pearl cotton. It comes on a skein like this. I like it because this is pearl cotton number 8. I like this especially to use in geometric smocking because I only have to use 1 strand of it. 1 strand, and I'll show you if I could pull out a little piece here. 1 strand of this is really equal to 3 strands of regular DMC embroidery floss. And this has a very beautiful sheen to it, and it doesn't seem to lose its sheen as it goes in and out of the fabric as you're stitching along. And it's always been my favorite. When I first learned how to smock, and that's been about 28 years ago, I learned how to smock by using DMC pearl cotton number 8. That's what I started out with, and so it's just kind of stuck with me. I enjoy using it, and I recommend it if you have it in your area to pick some up. So we are going to start with, and I'm going to use a dark color like this if I can get it out of here. And let me stop this taping, and I'm going to pull me off a hunk of this, and I'm going to show you how we're going to start our smocking.